friends, I would like to talk to you about the electric corder and making some basic cords with it. So what comes in the box? An instruction sheet that has written instructions and drawings that show what I'm going to talk to you about in this video today. There's also a cord in there to plug it in. And because it needs a brick on the end of it, there's a brick. There's a carabiner, which I'll show you how we use that later. It's helpful, not mandatory, and the corder itself. Okay, in order to make a basic cord, we need a loop. It's important for you to understand that however long that loop is, it will go down to about 1/4 of that size when you're done. So if you need a cord to be 12 inches long, you're going to need 12 inches is 1 foot, so 4 feet down, 4 feet back in your loop. So I'm going to take these two threads that I have here. One of them's kind of purple and the other one's kind of a coral color so that you can see how that they combine together. I'm going to tie a knot in the end and make a loop. And then I'm going to hook that loop through my carabiner. Now we need gravity in order to see how this works. So this part of the video I'm doing overhead because that is the easiest way to show you what happens with nothing taken off. And then we're going to switch to a side shot video to show what happens. And when we get to that side shot video, you'll be able to see how I have it set up. It does not matter which end your knot is on, but the section where your knot in is not a usable piece. So you want it to either be on the carabiner end or on the end where you're using the electric corder, but you want that to be on the end. How many threads do you need to use to make that loop? You can do it with as many threads as you want, a minimum of 1, but as many as you want. Okay, like I said, you can put that knot wherever you want. Now with the electric corder, the dial, or it has a control that will let you spin it either direction, and it doesn't matter, either way will work. It also has a dial for the speed. You don't want it to go 100 miles an hour on this, so I turn it down so that it's on the lower end of the spectrum, and then I go ahead and hook it up. Okay, when we twist it, we want the twist to be tight enough that it will, when we stop and give it some slack, that it will immediately curl up on itself. So if you watch here, when I first do this, it doesn't immediately, it kind of loops before it starts to twist on itself. See, that took way too long for it to twist on itself. So I went ahead and added some extra twists. Now, we're going to use that electric corder, the weight of that, to spin it together. And so once I've got it done up enough, I will take that in my fingers and then I undo the cord so that it can hang freely because it's going to spin. And then I hook it right in the very center. And I had to move this up so you could see it. And then put the two ends together. I'm bringing my hands together and the weight of the corder will help that twist up. Once it's started twisting, you can take it off. It will settle and it will not untwist on that end. It will untwist on the other end. So you tie a knot in the top of that. Okay, here's some examples of where I have used it. On this one, I used it to do the border on it. So I just went ahead and tacked this down around the border. And this one has a terracotta in it. It has a tan in it. I don't know if you can see, it has a fine little sparkle to it. And I put a couple of loops of the fine sparkle because I wanted to add the sparkle, but sparkle does not photograph well. This one is again, I used an assortment of colors, yellow, orange, and red, and made that twist so that I could use it for a border. So you can see what a fun border it makes. On this one, this floral one, I took a bunch of pinks and put them together to make a cord. And then I started on the end, not the knotted end, and tacked it down in the middle of this flower, and then continued to tack it down spiral to make these flower centers. Okay, on this one, these cactuses are done with a fuzzy yarn and then some green fibers because I wanted them to have that fuzzy look to them. So on these, I only tacked down the backside where the knot was. I threaded those ends and pulled them through and just let the rest of it hang. Because remember, that far end will not come untwisted. It's the other end you have to be careful about. So I hope you've got some inspiration here on things that you might want to do for fun basic cords. Remember, basic cords can have as many strings in them as you want. They can have different kinds of strings in them, and they will all twist together. That's the basic cords. We'll see you in the next video.